American Graffiti hit theaters in 1973 and became one of the biggest surprise hits in Hollywood history. David here, and today, after 53 years, I am pulling back the curtain on every unforgettable face from that magical summer night to reveal what really happened to them. American Graffiti looked like a simple teen cruising movie, but one money fact proves it became one of Hollywood's biggest surprise wins. At the end of the video, I will show you the $200 million graffiti secret. Hit subscribe right now. Do not miss this. Wolfman Jack, Wolfman Jack. The unmistakable voice that guided every character through that endless summer night belonged to real-life radio legend Wolfman Jack, playing himself. His birth name was Robert Weston Smith, born on January 21st, 1938 in Brooklyn, New York City. Before Hollywood came calling, he was a struggling disc jockey who reinvented himself using powerful Mexican border stations that blasted 250,000 watts across America. And by 1972, he was hosting NBC's late-night music series, The Midnight Special. George Lucas had grown up listening to him on Zerb and cast him after driving to his trailer in person, paying just a $3,000 acting fee plus a small share of profits. What made his part so special was that his voice was already a legend to millions, and putting a face to the mystery gave audiences their first real look at the man behind the howl. Behind the scenes, Smith was quiet and business-minded, nothing like his wild on-air persona. He even paid out of his own pocket to promote the film in 10 California theaters when the studio refused to. His personal struggles included financial pressure from failed radio ventures and endless touring that wore down his health. Life after the film became his brightest chapter, as his distribution company sent his show to over 2,000 stations in 53 countries, and he made more than 87 television and film appearances. His turning point was that single Lucas casting decision. He was married to Lucy Lamb and remained a devoted family man privately. His health declined from years of heavy work and chronic stress on his heart. On July 1st, 1995, he died of a heart attack at his home in Belvedere, North Carolina, at age 57, shortly after finishing a weekly broadcast. His legacy lives on through his 1996 induction into the Radio Hall of Fame. The hidden contrast was heartbreaking. The wildest voice in America was off-air, a soft-spoken family man who died in his wife's arms.
If the Wolfman was here, he'd say, "Get your ass."
McKenzie Phillips, Carol Morrison. Playing the bratty 12-year-old passenger who commandeers John Milner's hot rod was McKenzie Phillips in her very first film role. Her full birth name is Laura McKenzie Phillips, born on November 10, 1959, in Alexandria, Virginia. Before American Graffiti, she was a school kid at Highland Hall Waldorf School in California. At age 12, she started a band with some of her classmates, and a casting agent saw her perform and invited her to audition for the 1973 movie. She was up against 250 other girls for the part of Carol. Because she was only 12 during filming, under California law, producer Gary Kurtz had to become her legal guardian for the duration of filming. What made her character special was her fearless natural energy, and Lucas famously told her to just do whatever she wanted in the shaving cream scene. Behind the scenes, she slept safely at the Kurtz family home, while adults dealt with all the on-set drama around her. Her personal struggles became public soon after, when she landed a huge role on One Day at a Time in 1975. She earned $50,000 a week, but severe drug and alcohol abuse led to her being fired in 1980. Life after that included touring in the mid-1980s to early 1990s with a reformed version of the Mamas and the Papas. Her turning point came with Lasting Recovery, a 2009 memoir titled High on Arrival, and returning roles in Orange is the New Black in 2018 and the rebooted One Day at a Time. She has one son from her marriage to Michael Barracan. Her health decline included multiple relapses and public overdoses over decades of addiction battles. As of 2026, McKenzie is 66 years old, sober, and working as a substance abuse counselor. Her legacy is one of survival and honesty about addiction. The hidden contrast is stark. The wild little kid on screen carried decades of hidden family trauma behind her off-screen.
Let's catch him at the light, then you jump out and flatten.
Candy Clark, Debbie Dunham. The bubbly blonde who steals Terry the Toad's heart was played by Candy Clark in the role that earned her an Oscar nomination. Her birth name is Candace June Clark, born on June 20th, 1947, in Norman, Oklahoma, before Hollywood. She grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and attended Green B. Trimble Technical High School. She was a fashion model in New York, where she moved at age 18. Her big break came when her agent, Lynn Stallmaster, submitted her for the American Graffiti audition, and director George Lucas was drawn to her fresh, relatable look, casting her after a screen test. What made her Debbie so memorable was her authentic, bubbly charm and gum-chewing warmth. At age 26, she received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the 46th Academy Awards in 1974. Behind the scenes, she poured everything into the part, but lost the Oscar to Tatum O'Neal for Paper Moon. Her personal struggles included a very brief 8-month marriage to actor Marjo Gortner in 1978. She encountered typecasting from her early ingenue image in American Graffiti, leading to fewer lead opportunities and a shift toward character roles in independent and B movies. Life after the film included The Man Who Fell to Earth in 1976 with David Bowie, Blue Thunder in 1983 for which she won the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actress, and The Blob remake in 1988. Her comeback moment came in 1988 with her return to a major studio release in The Blob, followed by a fresh wave of recognition through her 2002 Copper Wing Tribute Award at the Phoenix Film Festival. She never had children and stayed close to her Texas family. Her hardships came from an industry that pushed her out of leading roles as she aged, along with the emotional weight of losing many close friends from her 1970s Hollywood circle. Today, in 2026, Candy is 79 years old, alive and well, still doing occasional film appearances, and recently celebrated at a 2015 tribute at the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. Her legacy is that one dazzling Oscar-nominated performance. The hidden contrast is that the girl known for her giddy blonde character quietly became a serious behind-the-scenes photographer of Hollywood stars. Which classic 1970s film do you think best captured the true spirit of American youth? Share your pick in the comments below.
Debbie, I always thought I looked like Sandy.
Cindy Williams, Laurie Henderson, the sweet high school girlfriend of Steve Ballender, torn between love and losing him to college, was played by Cindy Williams. Her birth name was Cynthia Jane Williams, born on August 22nd, 1947, in Van Nuys, Los Angeles, California. Before American Graffiti, she studied theater at Los Angeles City College. Then her first professional acting credits included a 3-episode arc on the 1969 series Room 222, and appearances on other shows like Nanny and The Professor in Love, American Style in the early 1970s. Although she was cast as Laurie Henderson and enjoyed working with both Lucas and Howard, she had actually hoped she would get the part of Debbie Dunham, which ended up going to Candy Clark. What made her Laurie so special was the aching tenderness of a girl watching her future slip away. Behind the scenes, she formed lifelong bonds with the cast, and the film earned her a British Academy Film Awards nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Her personal struggles came later. She and Penny Marshall had been feuding for quite some time on the set of Laverne and Shirley long before she became pregnant. She left the show pregnant after producers refused to accommodate her leave. Life after that included co-producing Father of the Bride in 1991 and Father of the Bride Part 2 in 1995, and she made her Broadway debut as Mrs. Tottendale in The Drowsy Chaperone at the Marquise Theater on December 11, 2007. Her comeback came through her acclaimed Broadway run in The Drowsy Chaperone in 2007 and her celebrated 2015 memoir titled Shirley, I Jest, which brought her back into public love. She married Bill Hudson of the Hudson Brothers in 1982, had 2 children before divorcing in 2000. Her health decline came suddenly at the end. Cindy Williams died in Los Angeles on January 25th, 2023, at age 75, following a brief illness. Her legacy is the beloved Shirley Feeney character. The hidden contrast is that behind the smiling singing duo on Laverne and Shirley was a woman fighting constant studio politics and giving America her sunniest performance anyway.
You were scared. Dave Obler told me.
Charles Martin Smith, Terry the Toadfields. The lovable underdog Terry, riding a scooter and trying to fake his way into cool, was played by Charles Martin Smith. He was born on October 30th, 1953. In Van Nuys, California, he came from a family with deep roots in animation. His father, Frank Smith, was a film cartoonist and animator, and his uncle, Paul J. Smith, was an animator and director for Walter Lantz Studios. He spent 3 years in Paris, where his father managed the English language branch of a French animation studio. Then graduated from Grover Cleveland High School in Reseda, California, and earned a Bachelor of Arts in Theater from California State University, Northridge. He was discovered by a talent agent while acting in a school play. What made his character so unforgettable was his believability as the eternal nerd. Behind the scenes, he endured cold night shoots for months on almost no budget. His personal struggles were far less public than his co-stars, as he was intensely private. His hardest moment came filming Never Cry Wolf in 1983, where he devoted almost 3 years, saying, during much of the 2-year shooting schedule in Canada's Yukon and in Nome, Alaska, he was the only actor present, calling it the loneliest film he had ever worked on. Life after Terry included The Buddy Holly Story in 1978, Starman in 1984, The Untouchables in 1987, and Deep Impact in 1998. His turning point was his shift into directing, with Air Bud in 1997 becoming a massive international hit, followed by Dolphin Tale in 2011. Dolphin Tale 2 in 2014, and A Dog's Way Home in 2019. He married an actress named Ursula, later divorced, has 1 daughter, and was a groomsman in Ron Howard's wedding. Today, in 2026, Charles is 72 years old, alive and well, still living in Vancouver, British Columbia, and active as a writer, actor, and director. His legacy is a quiet, lasting career built on hard work. The hidden contrast is that the guy who played the ultimate teenage loser became one of the most commercially successful directors from the whole cast.
Hey, did anybody ever tell you that you look just like Connie Stevens?
Paul Lamott, John Milner. The king of the streets in his yellow Deuce coupe, drag racing legend John Milner, was played by Paul Lamott. His full name is Paul Lamott, born on September 22, 1945, in Rahway, New Jersey. Before Hollywood, Paul lived a rough real life. He served in the Vietnam War with the U.S. Navy and later earned an Associate of Arts degree from Los Angeles Valley College. He was working as a boxer when he scored his debut film acting role in American Graffiti as John Milner, the town's hot rod champ with the fastest car in the valley. His character was based in part on director George Lucas's own teenage street racing years. What made his Milner so special was the loneliness under the swagger. His performance earned him the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. Actor behind the scenes, he had a wild reputation between takes. His personal struggles included being typecast as gruff blue-collar men. Life after Graffiti included Aloha, Bobby and Rose in 1975, Handle with Care in 1977, and his biggest praised follow-up, Melvin and Howard in 1980, which won 2 Academy Awards. His comeback came with another Golden Globe Award for his performance in the TV film The Burning Bed in 1984. He is married to Suzanne de Passé, and they have 3 daughters. His hardships included a decline into lower-budget films through the 1990s and 2000s. Today, in 2026, Paul Lamott is 80 years old, alive but very private, mostly retired from acting. His legacy is that yellow hot rod and his 2 Golden Globes. The hidden contrast was that the on-screen tough guy racing cars for a living was actually a soft-spoken, decorated Vietnam veteran off-screen. Which American Graffiti character did you connect with most as a viewer? Drop your answer in the comments below.
If he can't find me, then he ain't even worth racing, right?
Ron Howard, Steve Belander. The clean-cut class president Steve, wrestling with whether to leave town for college, was played by Ron Howard. His birth name is Ronald William Howard, born on March 1st, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma. Before American Graffiti, he was already one of the most famous child actors in America. In 1960, Howard was cast as Opie Taylor in The Andy Griffith Show. And credited as Ronnie Howard, he portrayed the son of the main character for all 8 seasons. His parents Rance and Gene Howard were both actors, and his younger brother Clint went into acting too. Lucas cast him for his all-American face, and Ron accepted the role even though he was already planning to become a director. What made his Steve so special was the honest confusion of a small-town boy at a life crossroads. Behind the scenes, the film's success helped land him the role of Richie Cunningham in Happy Days starting in 1974, which he stayed with until 1980. His personal struggles were rare and quiet, mostly the frustration of being seen forever as Opie or Richie. Life after acting was extraordinary. His films include Splash in 1984, Apollo 13 in 1995, A Beautiful Mind in 2001, The Da Vinci Code in 2006, Rush in 2013, and 13 Lives in 2022. Over his 6-decade career, he has received multiple accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, 7 Emmy Awards, and the National Medal of Arts in 2003. He married his high school love Cheryl Alley in 1975, has 4 children including actress Bryce Dallas Howard, and lives on a 33-acre estate in Greenwich, Connecticut. His hardest personal blow came with the loss of both his beloved parents. His mother Jean in 2000 and his father Rance in 2017, deep family wounds he has spoken about openly. Today, in 2026, Ron is 72 years old, alive and thriving, still directing and producing at Imagine Entertainment. His legacy is unmatched. The hidden contrast is that the child actor everyone underestimated became one of the most powerful directors in Hollywood history.
He says he's sorry it's so late, but it's the first scholarship the Moose Lodge has given out.
Richard Dreyfuss, Kurt Henderson. The soul of the whole film, the young man torn between chasing his mysterious blonde in the T-Bird and boarding that plane out of town, was Kurt Henderson, played by Richard Dreyfuss. His birth name is Richard Stephen Dreyfuss, born on October 29, 1947, in Brooklyn, New York City. He was raised in the Bayside area of Queens from 1950 until the age of 8, then Los Angeles. He attended Beverly Hills High School and briefly went to San Fernando Valley State College. He worked his way up through bit parts, including The Graduate in 1967, before gaining attention with his portrayal of Babyface Nelson in John Milius's Dillinger in 1973. Lucas cast him despite Richard's own doubts. What made him unforgettable was the raw, searching quality behind his eyes, giving the film its emotional weight and its final flying image. Behind the scenes, he pushed hard, sometimes clashing with directors. His personal struggles were massive. In 1982, he crashed his car into a tree, and police found cocaine and Percodan painkillers in the vehicle. Life after Kurt was historic. He starred in Jaws in 1975 and Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 1977. Both directed by Steven Spielberg, and won the 1978 Academy Award for Best Actor for The Goodbye Girl in 1977, becoming the youngest actor to do so at age 30. His turning point came from a life-altering hospital vision during his recovery. His comeback delivered Down and Out in Beverly Hills, Stand By Me, and Mr. Holland's Opus in 1995. He married writer Jeremy Rain in the early 1980s, had 3 children, divorced in 1995, married Janelle Lacey in 1999, divorced in 2005, then married Svetlana Arokin in 2006. Today in 2026, Richard is 78 years old, alive but controversial, having sparked outrage in 2024 for widely condemned remarks at a Jaws screening in Massachusetts. His legacy is enormous, from Oscars to his 2006 Dreyfuss Civics Initiative. The hidden contrast is heartbreaking. The bright, youthful face of American Graffiti became a man later shadowed by feuds, controversy, and family estrangement.
Well, come on, Bob. Come on.
The $200 million graffiti secret. At the end, revealed that American Graffiti became one of the most profitable movies in history. Afai says the film earned over $200 million today and was unique because it used mostly unknown actors in an original screenplay. This makes the cast journey more powerful because these young actors were not starting inside a giant blockbuster. They were part of a small movie that exploded into Hollywood history. 53 years later, the American Graffiti cast reminds us how one small film can change everything. Some rose to Oscar glory, others faded into silence, and a few we lost forever. If this journey moved you, hit subscribe right now and stay with me for the next unforgettable cast reveal.